Hello out there. It's week 15 of the NFL season, which means it's week 15 of the MC. Wait. Hold up. Strike that. Let's start this over. Hello out there. It's week 15 of the NFL season, which means it's week 1 of the MCC playoffs, which means it's the MCC playoffs week 1 edition of the MCC News. I'm your host, 5-time MCC champion, Alan Morrow. Now, with that said and done, let's get to it. First, let's do the Week 14 rewind. Last week of the regular season, a lot was on the line. A lot happened. First of all, high points. Lee, to the number 1 seed, to our defending champion, high points again. This is his 3rd out of 4 weeks. He ended the season 3 high points out of 4, and the one that he lost, I think he lost by a point or 2. As I've said previously on other editions, if Lee goes ahead and wins the championship this season, this will be the greatest back-to-back seasons any manager has ever had in the MCC's history. But he's going to have to win that championship to get that honor. The low points went to Ben. No big surprise. Probably the worst roster currently. He just got blown out. He scored 51.62 points. This was his 3rd time as low points, and it's the new record for lowest points of the season, beating his previous record from week 7 of 64.16. Quick rewind, Lee, he did have high points of 153.28, which I think is 3rd highest so far of the season. And with that, closest matchup, one of the playoff matches, I beat Adam by 3.04 points. Went into Monday night, I had the Bengals kicker, he had Lamb, and Rico Dowell almost nailed it. Unfortunately, he fell a little short. But just this really hammers home the horrible season he's had. Unlucky season, not necessarily horrible. 3rd time losing with the closest score. The first time since week 1 and 2. So he started all that, and then he finished the regular season all with the closest score. He's had countless amount of times as the winner of another category that we will soon get to. Just an unfortunate season, Adam. Probably should be in the playoffs, but he's not. Better luck next year. Biggest blowout, Lee over Doug by 52.36. Doug couldn't get that last bye. Jim beat Gabe, ended up beating Gabe and getting that bye week. Doug fell short. No big surprise because he was missing all his Ravens. Unfortunate there for Doug. Now for the next, only if I had a different schedule. Adam would have beaten 8 other teams this week with his score of 138.3. The extra kicker on this, seriously, only if he had he did have a different schedule. It wasn't until our at the time last place team, Jeremy, spoke up that made the schedule change for week 14. Because if Jeremy never said a word, Adam would have been playing Schrader and would have beaten Schrader and been in the playoffs. I would have been playing Tyra instead of Adam, and I would have still beaten by Tyra, I think by 4 points, so it still would have been a very close game, and I would still be in the playoffs. So, Jeremy screwed over Adam and made Adam miss the playoffs by opening up his big mouth. So, congratulations, Jeremy. You ruined the season for 2 people now. And then with that, we're going to break down kind of some of our playoff seedings and what's going on here. Playoff preview. Bye weeks for Lee and Jim. Jim beat Gabe, and then Doug lost to Lee to get that bye week. Then we have Doug. Been a top guy all year. He's starting to kind of falter here. But he's playing Tyra. Tyra got in that last playoff spot. Congratulations to him. And then the 4-5 matchup, Gabe versus Allen. Gabe, I think, is now the top or the second highest scoring team in the league. He has Josh Allen, who scored almost 60 points last week. His team is still formidable. It's going to be a tough one. But it's going to be fun from here. Big thing for our playoff preview here. Everybody is a champion previously, except for Doug. He is our only hope. He is the only hope of this league of a new champion. If not, it does look like high probabilities this will be a repeat champion of some kind. Then our weekend preview. As mentioned, Jeremy and Ben, our 12th and 11th place teams, have bye weeks. And then we have James versus Will, the 7-10 matchup. And then Adam versus Schrader is the 8-9 matchup. Like I said, this is all consolation prizes. No one wants that Whedon. No one wants to be walking around with a Cleveland Brown number 3 Brandon Whedon jersey. People are going to think you don't know football, which you kind of don't. All right. So let's just take a look at each team real quick. Number 1 seed Lee finished 12-2. He's our defending champion. Number 1 seed back-to-back years. He's on a 2-year playoff streak. As I mentioned, he is putting together the best back-to-back seasons in MCC history, but he's going to have to close it out because there has only been a repeat champion. Only one time a repeat champion, which is me. But I've done it twice. So unless he can close it out here, I'll still have the best back-to-back seasons. The number 2 seed, Jim, former champion from 2014, 2-year playoff streak. So he's gone, but he doesn't have much play for this week. Number 3, Doug, finished 9-5. He snapped a 3-year playoff drought. Congratulations, Doug. We're proud of you. He's still looking for his first ever playoff win in the 12 years that he's been in this league. So everyone's rooting for you. Get that first playoff win. If I can't win, I want Doug to win because, he's had the worst luck out of everybody. Mainly for his own doing. Number 4, Gabe, former champion, 2016. Back-to-back. He's back in the playoffs after missing last season. But actually, here's a fun stat. He's had a 9-year on-again, off-again relationship with the playoffs. He won the championship in 2016. Ever since then, so 2017, he missed the playoffs. 18, made it. 19, missed it. So on, and he's back in the playoffs. So there's a high probability, if this keeps going, he's going to miss the playoffs next year. Especially he sold off his 2nd and 3rd round picks this year. So he might be a little weaker going into the season, but we shall see. Next, myself, Alan, number 5. I finished 7-7. 5-time champion. Won in 2012, 2013, 2017, 2018, and 2020. It's been a while. This is actually my longest championship drought right now. So I'm hoping to break that. I'm back in the playoffs after missing from last season too, and I'm ready. Let's do it. Last, Tyra. He's the only other 2-time champion in this league. The only person besides myself that has multiple championships. He won in 2015 and then back in 2021. He's on the 2-year playoff streak. So Tyra's putting together a little streak here. So let's see if he can keep it going next year. All right. Now for the teams out of the playoffs. James snapped a 3-year playoff streak. So tough. He had a championship during that time. Almost was about to sneak into this. He won that last matchup, just didn't score enough points to either pass myself or Tyra on there. All right, the 8 seed Adam, 2-year playoff drought. And like I said, he's had a tough go of it for the last couple of years. In his first year in the league, made the finals, lost in the finals to me in 2020. And then I think he made the playoffs next, and now he's 2 years out of the playoffs again. So we should see. He sold off a 2nd round pick, so let's see. There'll be more on the draft picks and stuff comes maybe in an off-season preview. Number 9, Schrader, lost 4 straight games to miss the playoffs. He's also on an 8-year streak of an on-again, off-again relationship with the playoffs. So like I said, he lost the last 4, missed the playoffs, unfortunately for him. He's also probably going to win the worst trade of the season, trading for multiple New York Jet players. And since he made that trade, he went 0-4 and missed the playoffs. Number 10, Will. He snapped a 2-year playoff streak. He scored points. Everyone scored points against him. Just wasn't his year. Better luck in the future years. Jeremy, 4-year playoff drought. Once a staple of the playoffs and a staple of top of the standings in this league. Not anymore. 4 years. He is 1 year away from tying the record for the longest playoff drought. So if he doesn't make the playoffs next season, he will tie Lee for the longest playoff drought. Lee had 5 years missing the playoffs from 2013 to 2017. It's only fitting Jeremy can get to a record that Lee owns. 12 seed Ben, first full season in the league. After taking over for Uncle Mike halfway through last season, he's never seen the MCC playoffs. And the way his management went this season, it might be hard for him to make the playoffs in future seasons. But we shall see. Best of luck to Ben in the future. Quick, Jeremy's 5 out of 6 check-in. Last week, going into it, there's a chance that he could get as high as 4, but there's no way he could get 5. Turns out he only ended up getting 2. Schrader and Adam both end up falling out of the playoffs. Myself and Tyra, who he didn't select because he's stupid, end up making the playoffs. Why not pick people who have previously won championships? But that's Jeremy, where you don't expect much better from him. So with that, 2, he lost that one. We'll do a side bet thing later on, but still, there's still about half a side bet still really up for grabs. There's a handful of bets that are only a couple points away. Gibbs versus Bijan, I think like 1 point separates them. Jalen Warren versus Jerome Ford, about 1 point separates them. Another big one. Will Jeremy finish higher than both Schrader and Will in the final standings? Because with the regular season standings and final standings. So Will and Schrader both play this week. If Will and Schrader wins, they will guarantee, if one of them wins, they will guarantee to win this bet for Schrader, Cortez, and Lee. Will doesn't even actually win the bet. He's just part of the bet. So Jeremy needs James and Adam both to win for Jeremy to have a shot at trying to win this bet still. With that, we'll have more of a breakdown on that in future episodes. All right, last but not least, Tyra's Fab Thoughts. Not a huge fab week, unless your name was James. James ended up sending the rest of his fab just to spend his fab. James picked up Alex Pierce from the Colts for $25, Christian Watson from the Packers for $22, and the Packers defense for $10. I picked up for $3 the Falcons defense, the Colts defense for $0, and Brandon McManus for $0. Trying to get some defense on my league for hopefully advancing past this week. Then Lee picked up the Raiders defense, probably for future weeks as well. Gabe picked up Khalil Herbert for $0 to back up his Cincinnati running back Chase Brown, just in case. I think he also has Kenneth Gainwell he picked up last week to back up Saquon Barkley. Then Ben, for some reason, he picked up Michael Penix. I don't know why. I don't know if he thinks he's going to be able to keep him. It'd be weird to keep him as a 7th round pick next year, but we shall see. It's interesting, but that's, go Ben, I guess. All right, with that, that's going to end us on the MCC News here. As always, let's go Lions, fuck the Bills.